What is up, guys? Monday, July what? 2nd? 2nd. We are here in my game room, going live. This is super stressful. I felt obligated to be right on time. So I'm like stressing out, trying to get things going. Probably gonna have a couple trips and fumbles along the way, but I'm gonna do the best I can. There is no editing in a live video, as you know. So I'm going to wait here a couple seconds here, a few minutes, and get a couple people to join up. And please feel free to ask a question. I'd actually prefer if someone would ask a question really early on. My beautiful wife, is behind the camera right now, and she would be able to see if somebody's asking a question and how that's going to work out. Because I want to try to answer.
Said yo.
Yo. I want to try to, yo, dude, if you could just type in a question or something so that we can see how that's going to work out. Because we really never went live on YouTube. I've done Facebook many times. I don't know why I feel like this is so different, but for some reason I do. So we're going to give this a couple minutes, like I said, and if someone would be so kind to ask a question so we can see how that works. I want to make sure that that notification is even on.
We'd like to know all the specs and the details about your mini games.
We're going to go through that. So actually, while we're waiting, we'll start that conversation. So this is my own custom built bar tops, and these are built out of 3/4 inch. Well, I've made them in a couple different ways. I've made them where they're 3/4 inch with laminate on both sides. I've made it where they're 3/4 inch MDO, which is medium density overlay, and then painted them black. So I've gone through like some different revisions through the times. We're running a 19 inch 4:3 monitor. It has a small PC in it, and we're running, I believe it's close to 3,800 games. So it has everything from all your consoles, all your handhelds, to about 900 to 1,000 of MAME games. 2-player, it's got stereo amplifier right here. My earlier versions, I had speaker grills here, and now I have the design where it's routed into the front so that it just cleaned it up a little bit. Chrome T-molding, 1-button operation, which is real nice, LED light. These things are not light, very heavy, but you want that because when you're playing, you don't want that thing to be moving all around. So it's pretty stable. 2-player, like I said, all the Mortal Kombat, the Street Fighter, great for those types of games, Ninja Turtles, all that stuff. I also just started making a wall hanging version. Similar design, well, it is and it's not. It's actually got a widescreen this time, and it's much lower profile to the wall, like tighter up, and it hangs with a pinch cleat. I don't have anything in here right now that. And one of the downfalls of doing live is I can't edit and add little photos and videos of what I'm talking about. So you got to use your imagination with me. But if somebody has some, if you look back in some of my Instagram and my Facebook pages, you'll see photos of that. But like I said, widescreen, I believe 22-inch widescreen up against the wall. Same exact inside guts as far as the components, just a different platform. You know what I mean? Yes.
So, 3 questions was, is it a PC or a Pi?
It's a PC. I did run Pis originally. The only reason that I got away from the Raspberry Pi is on the video previews like you're seeing here and these videos, I was having a little bit of issues where the RAM just wasn't enough, and then all of a sudden these would just randomly, not all the time, they would just go gray. Like it just would lose video. And I don't have that with this. It's a little faster processing speed, so it's just easier that way.
Second question is, what type of emulator are you using?
We're running Retro Arch with a track mode in there right now.
And what type of monitor is it?
I believe, well, it's a 19-inch. I believe it's a Dell 19-inch. And the reason I really like the 4:3 ratio is because, you know, all those older games were not intended to be in a wide screen. So you're either doing one of two things with a widescreen. You're either stretching the hell out of the picture, which doesn't look good, it's all distorted, or you have big black bars. So they were always formatted to be in 4:3, so it just looks a lot better. So if you look down here, you see MAME. So this is my normal MAME wheel. Okay, I can go back to Neo Geo Color. I'm not going to go through every system, but you get the idea that the games are in there. I also have Scanline Generator in here, which looks really, really, really good. I feel that that's captured the simulation of CRT really well. So that's a cool plus. I'll just quickly flip through here. Nintendo, Super Nintendo. I forget how many systems altogether there are. Even the Atari, really great. This is something that's not visually done yet because I'm actually working on another system that I'm actually working within this, which is going to be all vertical games, anything vertical. So kind of like a 60-in-1 that you see now, but my own collection of games. Not, I mean, some that are in the 60-in-1, but not all of them. My own combination.
And the next question is ITX and PROC fused.
I'm not following that. I don't know what you mean by that. You could elaborate. I'll try to answer that question for you. Simpsons games, shmups, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. Another cool thing on this one here, I actually took a photo of this cabinet and put it in here as my own custom background.
ITX motherboard.
Oh, I forget what motherboard is in here because it's actually just a very small PC. And when we go into my theater, I'm going to show you the computer itself. It's a very small, I even forget the name of it right now.
Oh, PROC is processor. What processor did you use?
Oh, yeah, it's whatever is on that main board. I did up the RAM a little bit. I also have a solid state hard drive in there. But we didn't change anything other than the RAM with whatever specs these small PCs have. Now, really, the Pi overall really is powerful enough to do everything. The only thing it really is hesitant on is the videos that I've seen in these previews. That's the only place that I've seen a problem with the Pi. Now, I'm not saying I won't ever use the Pi again. It's just one of those things, I don't know. I felt like this was just a step up.
He said, so it's a system on a chip.
Yeah, it has its own, yep. All right, so next we're gonna move on to, when I first got into this whole arcade business, one of the first things I ever got was, I can take that now. Look out. First thing that I ever got was a Mega Touch. Now, actually, I'm gonna have to get some more light. Turn that light on. Bear with us 1 second here. All right, I had a stand-up Mega Touch that wasn't, you can shut that out actually now. The Mega Touch stand-up wasn't as good. It took up floor space. I got it for free, and it wasn't as modern. So my wife really liked playing this. There's a lot of games. There's even nudie games on here. But this is super cool. This actually came out of Vegas. And you're welcome, Brian. Any question, guys, please feel free. I can try to answer anything that I can, the best that I can. But this thing is loaded. This is loaded with games. These are not cheap, though. But this was my wife's birthday, or no, I'm sorry, Christmas present, what, 2 years ago now? Yeah, 2 years ago. So I'm not going to go through all the games, but super, super cool. JVL Retro.
You show them my favorite game.
What's your favorite game? I don't even remember. Here, you show me your favorite game.
What if I don't know how to get to it?
This is my beautiful wife. Say hello.
Hi.
This was, what year was this? This is, I don't even know what year this was. Oh yeah, she likes this color matching. But see, I play the same one, but with the nudie chicks. You got two pictures and you compare it. Very cool. All right, so the boring parts, we'll get over them real quick. You walk into my game room here. I have a sink. I was a taxidermist, still am for years. And you see right there is a floor drain. And this right up here was my winch system where I would pull the deer up. And this was this entire game room was my taxidermy shop. So white walls, everything was like immaculate clean. So this is why the sink is in here. It's actually really good to have next to the bar. This bar was the first bar I had. This actually flips up, and in the bar is roulette table, blackjack, and craps. So it actually flips upside down. Then I came across this bar. This bar I got at a yard sale, I want to say like $30. This is all solid oak. Now originally I was actually going to build a bar. Like I had the plans, I had about $500 of wood all laid out. I designed the whole thing. And then the guy called me up like the night before I was going to build and showed me that. And I was like, you know what? I'm not a huge drinker. So I said, I'd rather have the space. And I can always do something later on, but this is pretty cool. So combination of the two. And I can have, you know, it's pretty nice for $40. You got to be kidding me. Any question, guys? Anybody coming in, please feel free. Ask anything and I'll try to answer any questions that you might have. I got some mirror signs up here. I made up there. And if you could keep an eye on the questions on your phone, then I'll try to answer because it's hard for me to video and look at that. Over here's my little liquor store. Not much, like I said, not a big drinker. There I am as a kid. See, you would never think I wasn't a drinker there because there I am holding a shot glass with my dad. All right, over here, this is probably one of the first things that ever got me started in having any arcades is an iPad with this little iCade. This kid told me about emulation. I didn't even know what emulation was. And he's like, oh my God, we can have all the old games. And then I seen this controller and I thought that was the best freaking thing ever. I couldn't believe that I was able to play that again. And then I came across the video of Hyperspin. Once I saw Hyperspin, I was like, holy shit, that is unbelievable. So I went from that there to building this. This was the very first machine I ever built. This is still running Hyperspin, very first build. This is a 42-inch monitor, 5.1 sound system, 4-player trackball. I went nuts. This was like my first thing I ever did. All the artwork. There's so many things I do differently now, but this set the bar of what I did in the very beginning. I even have these speakers that come up around behind you because I wanted surround sound, but I wanted to be able to move it around and not have them attached to the floor, to the wall. So I'm like, well, how can I do that and have the speakers stay with me? So you can see that they're actually attached. That's 1-inch tubing that goes around, it's attached, and you got your center speaker there, and then your left and right there. I also made it so that I got Xbox 360, PS3, the Wii, original Xbox, and the PC all in there. So this is more of like an entertainment system. We still use this a lot for Kinect and Wii, doing bowling games and all. But that was the very first true build that I ever made.
We don't see each other's notifications. Somebody writes.
They should pop up. Maybe. No, you don't see them.
You don't see it. Yeah,
Maybe log in with PC and see if it shows up. Could you do that? Bring the laptop out. We're going to try to answer questions. This is new for me for doing live on YouTube, so it's a little difficult to know how things are going to work out. Let me get my other light too. So this is the juggle here, trying to make sure that I got the correct lighting for you guys. No editing, doesn't make it so easy. All right, something that I've just obtained recently that I think is bad as hell is this right here. I'm a huge racing fan, and this supports, I don't know if it's PS3, but definitely PS1 and PS2 and possibly PS3. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to tell you right now, this with Road Rash and racing games is unbelievable. I bought 3 of them because I was scared that they weren't going to have any more, and there's the box of one of them right there. I'm actually going to build, you can see, check out the front. So it's got like a Yamaha type of front end on it. But that thing is ridiculously cool. So I'm going to build a full-blown cabinet that is Road Rash related. Really cool. And yeah, that's happening. So down here I got a receiver. Now this receiver, I really have just for playing music on that for the game room in here. So I got a speaker behind the Mega Touch. I got another one up there, and then a huge sub right back there. So I just play music in here with that. Over here is my more modern entertainment systems, right? So this is I want to say 55. Yeah, I believe it's a 55-inch Bravio. This is when 3D first came out. Holy shit, it was the baddest thing. You had to have 3D. I still think it's cool. Yes, it's a novelty. I get it. But I'll tell you what, this games still look amazing on here. I do need to upgrade to 4K soon, but until that happens, this still looks really, really good. So check this out. These are some custom-made sneakers that my wife had gotten made for me this past Christmas. Really cool. When we go to conventions and shows and stuff, I try to wear them. This is a cool little clay figure that my daughter sculpted for me. Really neat. Over here we got 0.2 that thing can support. That actually came from here. Over here we got I just got this capture card. I wanted to start doing some video game capturing, but stream's cutting out. Is it really? Anybody else having an issue with that? Let me know. I'm on Wi-Fi here, so I'm not sure. But thanks for the heads up, and let me know if that keeps continuing to happen. Resolution dropped. Huh. Can anyone else help me out? Is that coming across? Was a little not too bad. All right, well, keep me posted, guys, because I'm not sure what I can do to make that different, but I'll try to look into something. But, so check this out. PS2, when they had these custom ones, yellow. Yeah, I'm a little bit further away, but not too far. It's right in my other side of the room. But it's definitely, just for argument's sake, let's see, does it get any better as I come this way? Any stronger? Here's a quick peek at the theater. We're gonna get into that here shortly. Let me know if that has changed at all. All right, so that's funny. She's looking at it on a laptop, and it's just, I'd say, what, 3-5 seconds behind maybe? That'll bug you out. Audio is fine, resolution's still low. Well, that really blows. Yesterday when I checked my upload speed, I was actually above what they recommended. So that is not good. I apologize for that, guys. I don't know what I could really do about it, but I'm gonna try to push through. All right, so we went to the custom PS2. Now that actually was not modded, but it had a hard drive in there. And I forget what the name, some kind of disc that you put in, but guy gave me like 3, what's that, like 480 maybe, but still viewable. Comes and goes. That's super annoying, man.
Let's turn the internet off here to see if it made a difference when I
With
turn
the
it on.
resolution, because I am on Wi-Fi. And honestly, what really sucks is I can't do a whole lot of checking for you guys because I'm actually using my phone. This is an iPhone 7 that I'm recording on. All right, we got the Steam Link that I never even took out. Obviously, the little classics. Now, when this does upload, I'm sure when it's completely done uploading, it should be at the true resolution. I'm not even sure how that works. Hopefully it does. Custom, this was an original Halo, the clear green, but way back I did the graphics skin on that for the Halo 2. Got my Nintendo Switch controller case in there. Down here we have my PS4. And I put an actual external hard drive on that because, as everyone knows, you run out of so much space. It's ridiculous how much they don't give you a lot of space. I'm also running, I got the, what you call it there, the virtual for the PS3, really cool. Regular PS3 Slim. Got some of my controllers down here and my Switch charger section there. Now that's also an adapter for that little racing. There you go, yes. So you can actually use that steering wheel thing I showed you, that motorcycle thing, with Xbox, the original Xbox, GameCube, and PS2, and 1 and 3 probably. So it's got a lot of variety there. Here's a good old fat PS2. Now, right now, I have in the back of where the network adapter would go, that's where the hard drive is. So I interchanged the hard drives to put different hard drives in there. Over here is where I keep my charger for my Switch, not Switch, my Wii U. Then we got 2 Xboxes here. They're both modded. The bottom one was way back when modding first came out. I can still play regular games and it boots up to, I don't even remember the front end, but I used to go to Blockbusters, rent a game, come home, burn it on that drive, and then take it back. That was beautiful. Those were the days. And now this other one is loaded up with, it might have been JTAG. I don't know. I didn't actually do it. This is like before. I just had some kid that was hacking into shit and he did it for me. But really cool. I actually have 2 360s modded, 2 actually. All right, so yeah, that's got the full, man, I can't even think of the name. If you guys can help me out with what are some of the original Xbox emulators. But XBMC, that probably was. Yeah, I think that was what I used. All right. So over here, we got the Sonic Mania. There's the box for it. That's cool. This is the original 360. This is not modded. This is just running the old school way. Every time I want to eject, I need to bang the top of the door and then it pops out. Pain in the ass. Here's my Xbox One. I was just watching Metal Jesus and he was telling me now that the new ones are also backwards compatible where you can use original Xbox 360 and 1. So I'm probably going to upgrade this for that, the Xbox One X. There's my cable box. All right, moving around. Metal Jesus is great. I watch him. He, you know, honey, you can get mad at me. Every time I buy a new game, it's his fault. I watch his videos and his hidden gems and stuff. And I'm like, damn it, I want that game. Now, I don't want to go through all these games because I'm sure you guys have seen, well, if you haven't, then you need to check it out. My video 1 of this. I went through a lot of the games that I have here already, so I'm not gonna really kind of repeat myself, but I'm just gonna kind of show you the room. This is a cool sign that I made. This is all digital printed and designed for myself. Do you have an ice cold beer machine? I do not. I wish I did. I've redone all the art for that. Well, the side art and the control panel, but I didn't do the bezel, but very cool game. Also Zeke's Peak I've done as well. Really cool games. So last video, this actually wasn't working. It does work now, but I just don't have it plugged in. So I had some monitor issues. My good buddy, I got a buddy of mine that comes and he works on my machines for me here and there. And we recapped the monitor and there was some kind of coil spring on the chassis that was broken. So now this is minty fresh. Now, one of the new things, all this you might not have seen, but this was in the first video. Super cool. I love super checks. I'm getting ready to make sponsorships that wrap all the way around this whole thing, all the way around. And then I'm gonna get, I could hand paint it, but I don't know if I have the time or the desire. So I may just buy the guys that are already pre-done. And then I played in a league. By the way, I got my ass handed to me when I did that. These guys, there's some people that are really, really good at this checks hockey. They're like serious. And the guys I happen to play with were actually like champions in the country. So they just played with me. But anyway, they would put this up about 3 inches on a base. I thought about doing a cool base with this. So that's definitely a cool thing. All right, so one of the new things in the game room is this crazy taxi. That is fun as hell. I got this game not working for free. It probably sat in my shop unworking for over 2 years. Never got around to it. Just sat there collecting dust. Yes, it is. Well, not the cabinet. This cabinet was actually used in several games. A lot of racing games use the same exact setup. And this right here is all new graphics I put on the back because this was half peeling. And then that's new. Now, I had a blown sub underneath. And then if you look on this particular cabinet, it's got speakers there and there. Daytona USA, I believe, used the same cabinet, and they used these rear speakers. But in this particular game, they were never used, but there was a sub in there. And then there was 2 speakers in the front, there and there. Now the problem with me was, I'm like, well, man, we opened it up and the speakers are in there. Well, why don't we get this thing to actually have 4 speakers? So my buddy Kurt, again, hooked me up. Now the subwoofer was blown in there. So we had to order a special replacement sub inside here. And then he added another switch in the front. So I can adjust the front. The front and the back go together. I forget how we did it now. I think the front and the back are adjusted the same and then the sub by itself. Or no, we made the rear. One of the issues was if you do the volume the same, the rear is so close to your ears that even if it's the same loudness as the front, you can't even hear the front because it's like in your ears. So we made the rear be able to adjust individually. So these need to be barely on and these can be louder so that you can hear it. But this,
Naomi hardware?
that is Naomi hardware, original hardware. Yes, it is. And I actually have some other games, but it wouldn't work in a racing sim. I think 18-wheeler I would like to get in here too. It's pretty cool. But yeah, that's original hardware running in there. There's the owner's manual. And this is one heavy son of a bitch. Holy crap. But like I said, I didn't redo the art on the sides. The marquee is still original. And the whole game overall, besides cleaning it up, is original. So that is a new addition. Definitely cool. Yeah, that would be cool, the 18-wheeler and the Harley Davidson. Is a Harley Davidson, was that, that was Naomi as well? I'm not sure. Now, another thing that's different, if you guys have watched the first video, this opening right here did not exist. The games went all the way across and this was closed off. So I rearranged a lot in here and made all the racing games in one section, right? Beside this one, Power Drift, which is super awesome game right there. It's not on again because it's one of the games that I reviewed earlier in the other video. Power Drift, Arctic Thunder, awesome game. This is my second build ever, which again, I did go through the video of that on my last video. This is still a blast because it's not just one game. I mean, it's actually only a PS3 in here, but I have so many great games. I got a butt kicker under there. I got a receiver there, big sub, 5.1 sound system. Definitely cool, 42-inch screen. Yeah, the Power Drift, dude, is super cool. And look how clean this thing is, man. This is all original. That thing is minty fresh. Real nice. I gotta check the power supply though, because I get sometimes when I turn this game on and I get some weird glitches and things happening, and I believe it's has to do with inconsistency in the power supply. All right, one of the games that we didn't go through last time was my Asteroids Deluxe. That, to me, the two games that I love the most is Asteroids. Man, Adam's Family is an awesome pin, dude. Real cool. So something that I learned that I wasn't aware of. So when I first got this, I seen this marquee. Now, I know this marquee it's the same exact marquee that's in the Cabaret version. So when I saw this marquee, I'm like, man, why would they use a deluxe, Asteroids Deluxe from a Cabaret in a full cabinet? That's not even right. Why did they do that? And then one of my buddies, he's like, no, dude. He said, that's the original. This was the first run of these, and this is what they used. And another thing that was different on this was this had a much more vertical monitor bezel. So there was some glare issues. So they did some modifications to this, but this was like the truly first run. This is one absolute amazing game. Lights messing us up. But the 3D ability of this, I don't know how well that looks for you guys, but holy shit, this is badass. So what I did to this, I got the game. There was some mold on the sides. I basically dry erased that. Internally, the board was not working. I got a buddy, Dave. He's super good with boards and working with them. He took my board and there was some cold solder joints and different things he got working. So he had that working. And then inside, you probably can't even see it, but you see those dotted speckles in there? There's a bezel in there, a cardboard bezel. And I actually have a video on my YouTube channel of me making that completely, that video, that bezel, using fluorescent paints. This came out really good. All new buttons. Other than that, that's it. This thing is original. This side has more fade than the other side, but for being all original except for that control panel, even the bezel out here is original. That thing is clean, man. And as crazy as it might sound, Asteroids and Asteroids Deluxe are the two games that I play the most in here. I don't know why, and I even suck at these games, but something about it. When there's a game that you can only get high score and you can't really beat it. So there's my best score ever. 36,800, which is not that great, but that's the best that I got. So now we're moving on to my original Asteroids. Yeah, how's the signal strength for you guys? Is the audio okay? the video, is it choppy? Is the audio clear? Let me know. Got cut, but getting better. Okay. So what I did to this, when I got this, a couple arcade Hunt brown, and if you touch them, they just shattered, like you could just crush them in your hand. The game did not work. This is a brand new control panel. This is actually silk screened on here. I did not make this. A buddy of mine had an extra one and he gave this to me. This is a brand new plexi bezel and a brand new cardboard bezel. This is the original marquee. This has got the allies, so this is an early generation version of this. All original side art. As far as the interiors, I had a big blue, the power supply, we recapped some things on the board. This thing is as good as it's gonna get, man. I'm telling you, this game looks so good. For being all original, I absolutely love this cabinet. And like I said, I play these two. Yes, people are like, well, why do you have Asteroids and Asteroids Deluxe? They're very different. This is so much harder, but this thing, I mean, who cannot remember this? Now, I don't know how old everyone is, but I'm 47, so I grew up playing this shit. I'll tell you what, between Asteroids and right here, Space Invaders, these are the two games that I grew up that I remember the most. So one of the new additions also is Scramble. Check that out. This is entirely all original. It's got the original stencil sides. You can see this silk screened control panel. Now that joystick is not right. I don't even know what that came off of, but from photos that I've seen, I don't think that's correct. If anyone knows differently, you can tell me, but I don't think that's right. Now, I don't know how many of you guys know that the porno behind a Scramble, but if you look closely, check out that chick. What is she holding? You see it? I thought that's pretty funny. That's like a hidden gem in there. Scramble. So this could probably use a cap kit, but overall not bad. The bezel, the marquee, everything is original in here. The guy that had it before me, he put one of these credit buttons in, which actually work really well. You just hit the button once and it gives you the credits, rather than having a hole drilled in or having to open a coin door and credit. I forget who makes these. Maybe it's that Cradle of Avitation. I don't remember where I actually got a bunch of them to put on some of my other machines. I just haven't done them yet, but I really recommend them because you're not really altering the original thing at all, and they work really, really well. So that is Scramble. Now I'm sure you guys have seen this. This is my all original that I completely restored Commando. This thing is absolutely in perfect shape. I completely did all the artwork, restored this 100%. Now people will be like, why would you do that to Commando? Well, when I grew up, I loved Commando. I got this game for 50 bucks and all new overlay, the bezels all new, cardboard, marquee. I love it. Doesn't Commando have a rotating stick? It doesn't. And maybe it should, because maybe that's why I'm dying, because this is one hard ass game. I absolutely can't even get out of the second level on this. And it could be due to not having the right joystick. Does anyone know? Does that look right? I don't know, but that shit is killing me when I play. And that could be why, because it does struggle when I try to go on angles. So maybe that is a good thing to look into. All right, another game that we didn't go into is Space Invaders Deluxe. I had an original Space Invaders, but when I found this Deluxe, which is all original, look at the condition of this. And the artwork on this, yes, it's the same kind of game, but what's really cool about this is I have a multi in here. It's like a braze kit. So if I hit both of these buttons, actually I can't do it, this and the fire button. There you go. So, I don't know if that's focusing on it or not. So I got Space Invaders, Space Invaders Deluxe, Lunar Rescue, Balloon Bomber, Jade Spectre, Space Laser, Galaxy Wars, Super Earth Invasion. All of them are now, and all I did was just take off RAM or something, I forget, it's been a couple of years now, and just plug it into it. There's no soldering, there's no nothing. And that just turned this game into, what, 6, 8 more games? But super cool game, super hard. Space Invaders is always a hard ass game, but absolutely love it. It's just something that I grew up and I like. All right, any questions on anything so far? Thanks, guys. I hope you're enjoying this. This is tough to do with no editing because I'm used to going back and editing stuff, and it's not that easy. So check this out. This is a virtual pin. Now this thing was custom built by a guy, and this is using the original Monster Bash artwork. This was custom made, all powder coating rails. I mean, this was high end. Virtual Pin made this originally. I'm running, I have FX2, 3, and all the old, yes, I got 2 and 3 on there. And then this is an old school. Now it's got just, it doesn't have a color DMD on there, but this is already probably 6 years old. It has a solid state hard drive in there. Let me see if I can open this up and give you a peek inside. What's cool is it's got a latch and it opens up just like a real computer would. It's got amplifiers for each side. You can see the computer in there. It's got a pretty big video card. I forget the specs of everything right now. I didn't build this. I bought this just like you see it. But this thing is really, really nice. It's actually a wide body cabinet too. So it's got the monitor back there, the DMD, and then a 42-inch LCD. Is it running FX? Yes, I have FX2 and 3. And, hold on, let me see. Let's see if I can go out of this. Hold on one second. I don't know if I could do it with one hand. Can you hold that for a second? Got it? I feel like it's frozen on me. Well, that doesn't make sense. Go figure. Normally I can just exit. So it's got an exit button on the bottom, but for some reason it's making me look like a fool. But yes, I do have FX2 and 3. Tons of games. I got probably 400 or 500 total on here. I don't know why I can't go through it right now, but it's not Commando. So I don't know what this joystick is. This was in there, but I really don't think it's right. But when I looked at photos, it kind of looked like this, but it just is super hard to play, man. Future Video, I do have Future Video. There's a couple other emulators out there, and I forget what they are. It is the correct stick? I don't know. Now, obviously, I'm big into arcades, but I am also huge video game fan. Oh, my Switch shut off. I mean, not my Switch, my Wii U. I guess it's on a timer. Hold on. She'll come back to life. All right, so check it out over here. Yeah, it's powering back up. Old school CRT running Doom 64 right now. Right there. Doom 64. I got this 8-way switcher. So I got N64, NES, PS1. Now PS1, how many guys remember having the old, Hun, come hold this light for me. All right, so in the back here, remember these? Game enhancer with the little spring right there. So who didn't copy games like crazy? You go, you get your little Memorex games, you copy them on here. This spring, you had a dummy disc you put in there, and then the game disc would stop. Then you put in your copied game. Oh my God, I have a stack of games that are burnt. I also love collecting the actual game, but that was before I cared about collecting. I was just a kid and I wanted to burn everything I could. Down here we got Genesis. I got my, what was it, right around 2000 or 98 or 99, I don't remember, but I remember going up to GameStop or Babbage's, whatever it was called at that time. Over here we got Sega Saturn. Check it out. I got this from eBay a couple of years ago.
Hey, go back and explain the PlayStation, what you just explained, because you cut out the whole entire time.
Did it cut out? Is it back now, guys?
It is.
It is? All right, hold this light. All right, so hold on. Oh, my knees are a little hurting here. So years ago, I don't even know what this is called, but this was like Game Chips made it, right? Is that focusing in enough? You plug this into the back. It's kind of like a Game Genie type of thing, but this was a mod. This was like a mod thing. Now you didn't have to hard mod it. You plug this into the back, and you had to put this spring right here. Hold on. Spring like that, and basically that fools the drive thinking that the door's closed, but it's not. This is in. You could pick languages and whatever. You get an original, any one game. It just has to be one original game. There's some kind of code on the disc that the eye would look for, but then this system here made the disc stop. And the reason the spring is there for two reasons. One, so you can open it up and it didn't interrupt the system, but also so that you could get it out. And then you put your copy disc game in here, and then you push start, and then it plays. Now you're playing with this door open, and the game is spinning, going cool. It's really cool. But I had burnt probably 75 PS1 games. I had a buddy of mine's dad that he was burning them like, this is way back in the 90s. I don't even know what year exactly, but yeah, that was a big thing there for a while. All right. Under here, I also have, I don't know, can you pull that box out a little bit? Yeah. I got ColecoVision and Atari 2600 in there. And also under there in television that I hook up to this as well. And then, hold this again. This, I don't know how many guys have seen these before. Samsung's G, T or G, yeah, just GX. I got this at a flea market in the box. These are pretty rare. And this thing's sound is absolutely unbelievable. And the picture, I mean, look at the picture of this CRT. Let me turn this up a little bit. The sub is just amazing. The sound on this, really, really cool. Came with, in the original box, with remote. I think I paid $50 for that. In the box. It was like almost not even used. So really, really cool. And that's running the Saturn right now. But I could hook any component. It goes up to component and I think S video, if I'm not mistaken. Really neat. So let me turn that back down. Any questions thus far? Here's another thing you don't see very often is Pro Play Home Arcade. I believe these were an exclusive Toys R Us only way back in the 80s. I actually had a whole article I wrote down on that. Do you own a Nintendo Switch? I do. I do. No, I have it over there. In the beginning of this video, I didn't actually show it, but I do have one, yes. And this is the Wii U. Hold that a second. This is gonna, what's going on here? All right, so this is running an NES, original NES in there. That's like not modded or nothing. That's like legit. I think I did change the pin connector in there. A buddy of mine gave me this TV because the TV, it didn't come with a TV, and this thing fits perfectly. Now, it never came with a bezel, but I actually want to make a bezel for this so that it'll continue the art, because I just think it looks so good that I wanted to finish it off. I'm thinking about even building these and making these available as well, because I think there's a lot of collectors that would love this. And this actually plays really cool. The way they rig this up, and then a regular, after it comes in there, it just plugs in right there to your console. You could put a Genesis in there too. But super, super cool, super rare. Now I love me some kiosks. But check out some of my posters up here. So we got Street Fighter up there, Call of Duty. I picked up this Amiibo. My buddy's son worked at GameStop and they were throwing them out, and I got a heads up on that. So I don't even have many Amiibos, but I mean, that's cool to have. How it glows and lights up the wall. Super awesome. For the Nintendo Switch, when we get into my theater, we will go through every game for you. I will show you. You didn't even see my video game collection yet. That's going to be on the next room when we get through here. Shit ton of games. So I will show you every game that I have. All right, couple posters up here. Really neat stuff. Doom. But check it out, Wii U kiosks. Now, believe it or not, I found 2 Wii U kiosks in 1 week. A buddy of mine, this is how great the community is. A guy called me up and he's like, yo, there's one outside of GameStop. Now, this is right when the Switch just was coming out. It was released. Let me see, you may not need this light right now. Is that too dark? Let me know if that's too dark, or do you need that light on? Does that look better? It's good? All right. So anyway, get a phone call. It's Saturday, I'm working, and yeah, it's on now. Actually, I can turn it way up. That's only at 19%. Let's go to 35. All right there. So I'm working, the guy calls me up. He's like, yo, there's a Wii U kiosk. I already picked one up. I don't know if you're interested or not, but it's outside. Now, it's raining that day. So I tell my dad, I'm like, yo, we got to get in the car right now, and we got to go get this thing. It's about 40 minutes away. I get there. It's behind a shopping center, and GameStop threw this thing out, right? Look at this thing. This thing is mint. It didn't have a system in there, obviously. The cables were cut. But still, so the monitor was in there. Now these monitors are extremely high resolution, like way better than your typical monitor. And they're commercial grade because they're used all day long. So I'll tell you right now, that monitor alone has got to be worth some money. So I let this thing sit for about a week. so it can dry out. I plug it in and it works. I couldn't believe it. So here's what the deal is. It's got a sub there. It's got the power supply in there, and then just HDMI. And this would have been like some kind of security thing. It's a shame that I didn't have those cables, but I think by law they had to cut them. And you're lucky to even find this with it not completely destroyed, because a lot of places literally destroyed them, which is ridiculous. I can't believe that they would rather destroy this shit than to just let somebody enjoy it. Killing me. But anyway, so I find this one, it's sitting there a couple days, and then another buddy calls me up. He's like, "Are you still looking for a Wii U?" I'm like, "Yeah." Now I already had this one. He's like, "Well, there's one on the curb over there." I'm like, "Holy shit." So I sent my worker, Christian, and my dad, and they come back with a second one. I actually still have that at the shop. I use it when I'm working with emulators. I rigged up like a flat shelf here because it was a little less incomplete. This one didn't have this clear shield on it, so I used it on this one. This was slightly in better shape, so I brought this home, and then I kept that one at the shop. But how lucky to get 2 in 1 week for nothing. Over here we got the original Wii kiosk. I made a trade with a guy in my New Jersey Video Gamers group, and this did not have this monitor. And this monitor actually I'm not very happy with at all. This is one that I had laying around. It only is 720 and the resolution looks like shit, really, kind of. So I want to get a smaller, better resolution monitor and then do a wrap around it. Like, see how that's got white around it? I want to put white on that to match. But this Wii is a modded Wii, and it's one of the first generation, well, it is the first generation Wii, but it's like, it only has like a 560 megabyte hard drive. So I think I can only put about 80 games on there. So I need to find somebody to mod me a Wii, and I want to put the complete library on this thing because I think that would be really cool. This is a lot of fun, House of Dead or any kind of Wii games. So I got a pretty good Wii collection as well, which you'll see. Like I said, we're going to go through my whole entire video game collection once we get into the theater. Is the video still chopping or no? Pretty good. Over here, I went through these in my other video, so they're not on right now, but I'm just going to give you a quick glance. But in the Junior, I do have the remix in there, and that makes that game even more cool. I also did my own artwork on the side because when I bought this, it did not have any. What's that, hon?
Have you seen Nintendo Collection Channel?
Nintendo Collection Channel?
Like a YouTube channel.
I don't know if I have. I'll have to check that out. Is that your channel?
I don't think so, because he's saying he watches it and that it's dope.
All right, so check this out. So here is the PS3 kiosk. I'm doing a job for a guy. They needed some banners, and he had a video game store he worked at, and this thing was like a nuisance to them. They're like, "Ah, you know, it's just in our way." I'm like, "Yo, I will take that shit right now." So I basically made the dude a banner and got this thing. This is freaking awesome. Look at that. Now, the cool thing about it is the console in there. I mean, if you have one of these, you'll know this already, but if you don't, you're gonna learn something. That's just a dummy console. The real console is inside, right there. It even came with the remote. This came with monitor and the PlayStation already in there. It's the newer one where the door slides up, you know what I mean? But this thing is super clean, and I have interchangeable advertisements right there. It's got Gran Turismo right now up there, Gran Turismo 6. Really awesome. I'd still like to get a 360, But yeah, this is just like a plastic shell, nothing. It doesn't, it's not the actual system, which is pretty cool. Hold on one second while I turn that. Yeah, right. So that's my PS3. Now check this out, GameCube kiosk. That is awesome. I've seen several different versions of GameCube kiosks, but this particular one, it's got a Trinitron, or I don't know what kind of TV that is, but it's pretty high resolution. And this one opens up here. Now it's not modded, there's no, I don't even know if they do mod. Do they mod Nintendo GameCubes? I'm not even sure. I'm not sure. But anyway, running Luigi's Mansion right now, which is super awesome. I really like that kiosk. So that is the kiosk wall. Under here, I have my original Vectrex. I bought that, actually I didn't buy it. My mom and dad gave it to me when I was about 9 years old, 10 years old, when it first was released in 1981, I think? 80 or 81, I'm not sure. That's still the original. Right now I have a multi-cart in there. Now that thing is amazing, that multi-cart. The only thing that is a downfall is, you know how these have these overlays, so you're either going to use a generic one because you're not going to be able to switch between each game. But other than that, and I have a decent collection, maybe 10 or so actual Vectrex games, which you'll see in the collection. So back to my original built, all this artwork I did and built this cabinet. But this overboard with the art and everything, but it was the beginning. I mean, this got started. I even made a little instructions thing here because, you know, when you have this many emulators and so many things, they're like, holy shit, what do you do? There's so much buttons. And this has got a Dolby 5.1 sound system and a remote. I also have 4 USB hubs right there. So I have wired N64 controllers that I've used. So definitely pretty cool. And we probably didn't go over it right now, but we did before. I got my Blast City. I have a couple actual PCBs, Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition. I also have X-Men or Capcom versus Marvel versus Capcom, I think I have in that, but these are amazing. In my other video, I go through a lot more depth of that. Same with this. This is like a knockoff of a Vulix cab. This was imported from Japan. I have a modded 360 in this, and this is awesome too. Super comfortable to sit at. And it's cool is it actually is worked on time. You put a quarter in and you get time. So that's how, and it's actually has even the joysticks, the analog joysticks right here beside the buttons in here. So really neat. Yeah, Chulix. Whatever it is. All right, so guys, you ready to go into the theater? Here's my dartboard. We're gonna go into the theater. I'll do another quick span of the game room. All right. Terminator. This light I know is glaring. So I got 7.2 sound system. So I got one sub there. And then I got another sub there. Hi, honey, you hiding? All right, so when you walk in here, this is my receiver setup. I recently, a buddy of mine was you know, his wife's in the military. Or they both are? I forget if he
is. She's a worker.
He is, okay. So they got, where did they go? They went to Italy. And he had this, this stand, I forget what that's called even now. This whole entertainment. I mean, this is like legit. I didn't have one nearly this nice. And he was like, man, I know you have the nice stuff if you want it. He was getting ready to move because when you're in the military, like he had like a couple days to get stuff together. So he just gave it to me. So it's got the power plug in there, probably 6 or 8. I have a PS3 here. This has a keyboard here if you had an entertainment system. Now right there, that is the computer that's running in the bar tops. I have it set up also to play with wireless controllers on the projection screen, which is super cool. This is my newer receiver, Pioneer Elite. This is 4K compatible, 7.2. I forget how many watts, but there's the model, VSX-LX301.
So Eric asks if you are a fan of Star Wars and comic books.
Star Wars movies, I do like, absolutely. What you're looking at here, comic books, I used to collect more when I was a kid. Down here is probably mostly strategy guides. I used to love collecting original, you know, like back in the 90s, strategy guides. I have so many here. They're like brand new. Look, Final Fantasy 12. I'm talking N64. I had Mortal Kombat 4 when I was Donkey Kong 64. Tons and tons of.
Comic book films.
Oh, films? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So down here, I got some vinyl, some books. We just had a yard sale. We were getting ready to get rid of these books, and I'm like, oh, wait, they're Harry Potter books. So I don't know if I'll ever read them, but my daughter had the complete set of Harry Potter. What was the other ones you had?
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
And Piercy. No.
Whatever they are. I don't know. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not giving that shit up for nothing. So I'll keep them. And right here is just my movies. I don't have a huge collection. I have my Blu-ray. Look at this old school cassette headphone jack. I mean, Walkman. Look at that. I still got cassettes. I'll sport that thing all day long. So I'm not going to go through every movie there, but I got Blu-ray. I was collecting 3D movies for a while when that came out. You know, I had a lot of horror movies. I got an older couple that come over and they love to watch scary movies, which is kind of cool. Some of these newer little arcade machines and stuff that have been coming out, you can get them at Walmart. You can get them at Cracker Barrel, I think I got them at. The tiny arcades. I just picked this up, Rampage. I had a Stretch Armstrong when I was younger, and when I seen that come out, tap that box for me, hun. You guys need to pick this up if you ain't got one.
What am I tapping?
Just tap that box.
This?
Yeah. Tap it again. Every time you do it, it's a little something different. One more time. That's cool as hell. I didn't even take it out of the box because I don't want to open it up. Then we got a Rampage thing there. Now this, who remembers one of these? Space Invaders. I just cleaned this up.
Is your
I got
Walkman
this.
up there?
Yeah, my Walkman's up there.
It said, someone said it turned 39 yesterday. Hey, me and the Walkman are the same age.
But I had one of these when I was a kid, and I came across one of these in the flea market. $1. The battery was all corroded. Hon, get that down for me for a second. This Space Invaders here on the corner. Check this out. No, yeah, you can turn it on. Oh wait, did I take the batteries back out? I did. Yeah, but anyway, I cleaned that up. It was really, I guess I put it back, took them back out because I didn't want the corrosion to happen again. But super cool Space Invaders. That shows you how far back I go with Space Invaders, why I wanted that arcade machine.
Oh, I broke it.
Oh, don't break it.
I don't.
No. Lean it up against the box. Just leave it there. I'll get it. All right, so we got some more movies in here. Now these tickets, hold on, bear with me 1 second. When I first opened up my theater, I made these tickets. And I sent these tickets to my nieces and my cousins and my friends. And I'm like, oh man, you hear about that new theater? You got to check it out. So I designed these tickets and I sent them to people to come check out my own theater. So I thought that was pretty cool. Some more movies there. Over here, I made these film strips. These are routed out of 1/4-inch PVC and they stand off the surface here. And they're just movies that I randomly selected, digital printed, and made the different movies. I got a different set over there. Up here is your, I forget even what they call these, the message board, whatever. Actually, hit that light out for a second, that fade one, because it like glares at. All right, so now you can see, and actually I have a keyboard where I'll type in, so if we got company over and a new movie's coming on, I will change that out. All right, you can turn that back on, which is pretty cool. This, here's an old PS3 or PS2 fight stick, which is neat. So this whole entertainment system thing you see back here, the guy that I got that bar from, he had this thing in a pile just sitting in his garage. And I didn't know what it was or what I'm going to do with it, but I was getting ready to do this theater and I looked at this thing and I said, oh man, I'm going to make something out of this. So, hun, pull one of those out. You can be like Vanna White. Pull the number out. So when you pull these out, these actually house whatever you want, but I got like doubles of games and movies. Both sides pull out. And then the liquor barn or the liquor cabinet that you see in the other side actually was part of this. And then my bar here was part of it that I converted this into an actual bar. So now this is the back of the theater and I have 2 stools here with lights. So we'll come in here at night and if we're eating dinner late, you know, but yet there's a movie on, you see that? We can just see our meal and eat with the adjustable cool stools. All right, turn that back on. And over here is my, what do you call it? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank.
Popcorn.
Yes, I built this. She goes to the dollar store and we get candy, put it in here. This was all handmade, sprayed at my shop, put the little film strip. It's got sliding rear door here so I can access and get to it. Got the popcorn machine.
Someone asked,
That
do you
is,
have a PC for your home theater?
I don't. And I know I need to. I don't.
Oh, that was a while ago. That was Brian.
Sorry, yeah, I need to do that. One of the things I did in here is I have complete acoustic treatment ceiling. Then I have curtains down both sides and then carpeted floor. This is running, yeah, and if we really want to get fanatical with the movie, we'll pull those closed over the video games. Oh, actually slide this open here too to show that sign I made. All the lights are on dimmers. This is my, so I made another sign over here. I actually took pictures of actual popcorn on my counter and then photoshopped them. I made this back in '93, so, or no, I'm sorry, 2005. So it needs to be updated. So my projector, see if I can get it off. You're probably not gonna be able to read it, but it is a VPL HW40E3 or ES. That's a Sony. It is a 3D. It's not 4K. When I got it, it was the shit, but it's probably already 2 to 3 years old now. How long ago has that been? Can you slide that curtain back over a little, open it up again? So this is the beginning of my video game actual collection. All right, now we're gonna start at the top, up here. And this is my PSP collection. Absolutely love, love, love Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins. Is the lighting and the audio okay for you guys? Just let me know if anything changes. Is the signal strength any better? Because I am like right on top of the router now, so I don't know if that has made any changes or not. Some more PSP there. Okay, good. And for the guy asking for the Nintendo Switch collection, here we are. We have the Street Fighter II, Super Mario World, Sonic Forces, Super Bomberman, Mario and Rabbids, ARMS, Zelda, and Mario Kart. And I think I just ordered one thanks to Metal Jesus again. Runner, I think it's called. All right, so now here's my PS1 collection. I don't know how this lighting is gonna work. It's probably super glary. I have, I think 160 PS1 titles. I'm obviously can't sit here and go through each one for you, but you can usually get these pretty cheap. Some of the highlight games for me was, well, I gotta even find them. Let's see. I'm drawing a blank. I got too many things on my mind right now. Oh man, it was a 3D. Hold on, I gotta find it because it's gonna drive me nuts. It is. What is it? It came with 3D glasses. A little boy running around. Anybody help me out here? If I come back to it, I just can't think of it right now. But it's up there. Super cool game. 2-disc game. Just can't think of the name of it. And that's killing me. All right, anyway. Now we got my PS2 collection. PS2s you can really find so easily. It's probably my biggest collection. I'm pushing close to 300, I think, PS2 titles. I got a lot of commons, but I got a lot of cool stuff too. I'm definitely can't sit here and go through every single one, but you get the idea. If anybody has other things that you'd like me to go through later, more detailed, I could do that. I wish I could see how much battery life I have on my phone because this video is already running 79 minutes. Now we're going to get into my PS3. Do I have Gradius V? You know, that's a good question. I actually have an app, the CLV, I believe, that app. So I put everything in there. I don't have everything put into the app yet, so I don't even know how many games or what I have, to be honest with you. There's sometimes I don't even know what I have. But I'm not sure if I have that game or not. PS3, another great, amazing collection of games. Lots of great games. A lot of good racing games, fighting games for the racing sim in there. PS4 titles. I got a pretty good collection. I don't even know how many. I probably have as many unopened as I have opened. Just don't have the time. But you could see the titles. I don't know if you can you even make it out at this fast space? I don't know. Is that way too fast? Xbox One. Now, the Xbox...
You really can't see it, is what they're saying.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but it would take too long to go through each one. Xbox One games, I usually only get games that are exclusive for Xbox One. Nothing against Xbox One, but I just lean more towards the PS4. And I usually just stick with the Xbox One exclusives. So let me just do a quick close-up of the PS4 again.
You said Xbox One, and the guy has his sound on his computer, and it turned his Xbox One on.
That is too good. That is funny. Is that slow enough? I do not own a Virtual Boy. A Game Gear I do have, yes. But I'll tell you, the monitor on the original Game Gear is terrible. I've seen CJR and some of these guys that have modded the monitors into a newer monitor. It looks a lot brighter, because that was definitely a downfall on the Game Gear. Here's my Wii U collection. Not super big. Some more PS3. All right, then we're moving on to my original Xbox, one of my absolute favorite game systems. It was just that time of my life when I really enjoyed it. I thought it was such a huge leap in graphics, and I remember when they first started supporting widescreen, I thought that was like the most amazing thing ever. Oh my God, widescreen. Shenmue, who doesn't love Shenmue? Halo, obviously. System Link, bunch of buddies with that. Reckless, that's an awesome game. I don't know how many people know about that. Oddworld, awesome game. Full Spectrum Warrior, lots of fun right there. Tons of great games on the original Xbox. Anytime I can find original Xbox games, I'll grab them, because you can usually get them super cheap.
Someone said Xbox is called Dreamcast 2.
Yeah. And the 360, another absolutely awesome game system. Tons of good titles. You can get these games super cheap. The funny thing is, you could actually even buy used PS4 games super cheap now. There used to be a time where you could trade in your games and get decent value. Now, if you have it for like a week, you take it back. Yeah, I'll give you $3 for it. Holy shit. So I haven't traded a game in or sold a game in ages. The only time I'll sell a game now is if it's a double. Here's some of my original Wii collection. Some more of my 360. Yep, that's true. Rip you off. I remember standing in line, and this little kid had a big bag of games. And he goes in there, and they're like, yeah, we'll give you like 60. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like knocking on the kid's shoulder. I'm like, yo, I'll give you $100 for that. And it was easily $300 worth of games. And for some reason, him and his mother were scared that I was going to rip them off or something, and they wouldn't sell them to me, and they still gave them to them anyway. I couldn't believe it. So here's my GameCube collection. Really cool. Some of the highlights for me: Metroid, Eternal Darkness, Luigi's Mansion, just to name a few, and Wave Race. Also the Star Wars. Which one was that called? Oh man, can't think of the Star Wars one. It's got to be here.
Do you have shmups for 360?
I have some in the modded system. I don't think I own any actual discs of shmup games for 360, but I do have them on the modded system. Now, I'm probably not going to do it in this video, but just this weekend, hon, can you hold this light for me for a second? So I'm still avidly always buying games. So this past weekend, at a yard sale. I picked up this game, PSP. I got these on eBay. Again, oh Jesus, he messed me up. Now, I bought this whole thing, which I didn't even go through myself yet. Look at this. One dude, there's like over 50 Xbox and Xbox 360 games and a whole system with Kinect and controllers all in here. Now, that's a lot of shit. I paid, I think he wanted 150 and I think I paid $100 for that whole entire thing. Over 50 games and system. That's the new modern system. So it's the slim. It's not the one that's gonna have the red ring of death. So I didn't even get to go through that yet. Painting around here. My monitor is 10 foot screen. Hit that light out, dim it down, because I'm like right in the glare. But the picture quality on this, just hit that whole thing one shot. All right, now it's dimmer because it's not on. But yeah, it's super clear, let me tell you. Really, really clear. And right now, I'm running this pedestal arcade machine. This has a modded 360 in there right now. I could really virtually put anything in here I wanted. Could you hold this up for me? You could turn that light back on too. I honestly, let's see, it shows 144 gig or 367 on the drive. 144 is used. So 368, I don't know what it actually ends up being. That's what's on the drive. So on this thing here, yeah, probably 400. I didn't do it though, I bought it that way. When you open this up, what's cool about this is, this thing, I have the switchers so I can use 360, Dreamcast, Wii, PS3, PlayStation 1, all the button layouts, MAME, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, so all the configured buttons are figured in there. And it does also have the trackball, right? And obviously you can see the LED lighting. This thing is really, really nice. I have the modded, you can probably get the light from there. I have the modded 360 in there right now, and there's all the different adapters right in that bag for all the different systems that I have in there. All right, you can turn that actual light back on, please. This is another GameStop. One of my buddies used to stop at a GameStop all the time, and he would ask them if they were getting rid of displays, and I was particularly looking for this one. And one day he showed up at my house with this. That is super cool, standy. Final Fantasy, all 3D. Look at that. So this is my front speaker. These are NHT speakers. One there, one in the middle. Now these also have built-in subs in there. Then I have on the sides, I have...
media hub for your theater system?
I do not. I need to. My side surrounds. And then in the back, these are my rear speakers. And then the two subs. So 7.2 on the sound system. You can see the projector up there. I built the base for that as well. So that's kind of up top. This whole place has central heat and air, which makes it nice. And then these chairs, I actually just picked up Saturday or Sunday? Saturday. I used to have just a regular couch. I've been wanting these. These popped up on Facebook. I got a really good deal. Demonstrate. They all recline. Each one super comfortable.
So bright.
I got my little thing there for my controllers. So now 4 people all have the identical chairs. Really nice and comfortable. All right, so now we're going to move into my older retro games. Up here, still from a child, I have my Cubert. And I bought this about 1.5 years ago because I did have one, but then I got lost in this Galaxy. It's kind of like Galaga or Galaxian. Really, really cool. I see my phone shows 20% on battery, so we're still a little bit good. The plug and plays are really cool there. Here is my Genesis collection. Not huge. I had this Star Fox 2 prototype before they ever released it on the Mini. So I had that. Hold on, let me pull that out. So check that out. I had this guy had this done. I don't know if it was an actual prototype or whatever, but it was like modded with mods on the side. I don't know if it played more than one game or not, but really neat. It's hard to do with one hand. And put that back. And then we got my NES collection here. Not a whole ton of them, but a decent amount. This one homebrew, can you pull this out? This Haunted Halloween. I got this at one of the game shows. This is a really cool game. Flip that back over. Really neat. I recommend you checking this out for sure. Then I got my original Vectrex there. My N64, I think I'm at about 110 games right now. Those are my N64 end labels. If anyone has not seen them before, I sell them on my Etsy page and my Facebook page. Do you own a Pong system? I do not. I used to, probably when I was like 8 or 7, but I don't now at the time. A very few couple boxed N64 games, some loose Genesis games. Up here, I have some big boxed PC. In the late 90s, early 2000s, I was really big into PC gaming. All the Painkiller, Unreal Tournament, that kind of shit. I was Manhunt, loved those games. These guns here are for the Wii. Check that out. I got a matching pair. My buddy found this at a yard sale for me, a little drag racing handheld. Also got this little Nintendo watch. Over here I have my Atari 2600 collection. Not huge. Some Coleco and television stuff. Probably my only boxed Atari 2600 game. And it doesn't have any significance, it's just I found it that way. I recently picked up this Speed Devil, or Demon is it? Speed Devil. That's a great game. Here's my Sega Saturn collection, not that many. My Dreamcast, and that was another system that I had several burned, because you could burn them pretty easily. The Dreamcast, that's probably what killed their system, because it was so easy to hack. My PSP, some loose PSPs. Look at that classic football handheld. Game Boy Advanced in there. Some of my plug and plays. I still like these things. I think they're really cool, the plug and plays. So these are some random just PC games and random games that really don't have a 100% particular place. There's some of my burned PlayStation 1 games in those sleeves. Here's a cool thing to collect for is the UMD videos for the PSP. Super underrated. I bought probably this whole collection from one lady for dirt cheap a couple of years ago. Having all them movies is really kind of cool. Boxed in television collection. Just some other random loose shit. Some Nintendo DS down here. Not a ton of them. Some more random PC and burned Dreamcast games and whatever. Another Sega Saturn in there. An extra probably PS2 and GameCube. Some of my loose. I used to go and sell at the flea market all the time. So these were some of my leftover Game Boy and Game Boy Advanced loose carts. Still have prices on some of them. You gotta have a Nerf basketball. Who didn't have one of them in their room? I got that actually at a yard sale. This is brand new, sealed, never even opened. I hate to even open it because it's in immaculate condition. Probably paid $1 for that thing. Really cool. Hold on, I'm stuck on a cord here. All right. So guys, that is pretty much everything. Oh, we need to replace that battery for me. We're gonna go back into the game room. Is there any questions that you guys might have? Oh, you know what I wanted to do is show you how cool this actually plays. So let's go. So I got 360 games here, and I also have the Xbox Live games, which I think is one of the best things on this system. A lot of these games have been remastered or amped up, and they're just really, really good. So playing these games on this big screen in here is a lot of fun. We play, what's a Royal Rumble?
Pac-Man Royale.
Yeah, hold on. This too is an amazing game. This NBA Jam, so much fun on here. It looks amazing. I think it's in this Pac-Man museum. Pac-Man Royale on this looks really good. Can you shut that light out again one more time? All right, so let's get back to it. It's got several. Pac-Man Museum. So let's go right there. Now there's only one thing that I don't like. I mean, I guess they had to do it, but see that bezel? That kind of takes away. I don't know why they did that. I would have preferred that to be much smaller. So we're just gonna do a quick. My wife's gonna play me and probably kick my ass while I'm not paying attention. Did you hit start? There we go. All right, but you probably can't tell, but the sound system in here, playing this is pretty freaking awesome. So I'm sure you guys have played this game or know what it is. Anytime. This is one of her favorite games in here. More modern stuff. I know that probably looks small to you guys because I got a wide angle lens on it. Oh yeah, see, she's eating me up. I'm trying to look at the monitor. But super, super cool game. You play again while I zoom in a little bit so they can see it closer.
Can't play without you.
I know, but you can just move around. Oh, look how cool that is. Super cool. can see how this lights up the room a little bit. All right, I'm gonna turn the light back on. We're gonna walk back into the theater, or I mean out of the theater, into the game room. I'm gonna put this back on the tripod. Bear with shaking a little bit. If you guys have any questions, let's see, is that gonna work? Any questions before we go, let me know. Otherwise, that is gonna wrap up this video. If you guys have any questions, I'll stay on for a minute and move this thing out of my way. So that was a long video. That's 101 inches and 101 minutes and running. So that was a project. I don't know how many people actually stayed on for the whole thing, but if you did, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm glad that I could share. Am I even looking in the right spot? Right there, right? Okay. So that is the updated Gameroom 2018, and that's gonna do it, guys. Thanks for watching. Till next time, I will see you then.